Hannah and Cailin, back again with Double Talk. I'm Hannah. And I'm Cailin. In 2017, a documentary called Abducted in Plain Sight shocked audiences with the story of Jan Broberg, a young girl who was kidnapped not once, but twice in plain sight of her doting family. Now, beginning on October 6th, 2022, the chilling true tale will play out for audiences on Peacock, with Jake Lacey playing kidnapper Robert Berchtold, and the role of young Jan shared by McKenna Grace and newcomer Hendrix Yancey. Join us as we chat with Hendrix ahead of the show's premiere about playing a young Jan, working with Millie Bobby Brown on Stranger Things Season 4, and her next big goal. Hendrix, a lot of us first learned about Jan Broberg's story from the Netflix documentary Abducted in Plain Sight, and you are around the same age as Jan was when her whole scary ordeal first began. What was your thoughts on the story when you first heard it?
It was interesting. I watched the documentary before I read the script, actually. So I watched the documentary and I was like, wow, this is going to be a lot. It was definitely some heavy stuff.
Tell us all about the real Jan Broberg. Do you remember your first impression when you met her for the first time?
The first time I met her, she actually told me how much I reminded her of her younger self. And she said, you match my energy so much, and you still do. But I think that's why we get along so well, is because we're so much alike. She kind of she was really upbeat and happy, and she just brought off a good vibe in the room, and everybody could sense when she was there because that there was just this happy presence.
It must have been easier to kind of emulate what she was like when you actually got to see her in person. That's also being able to play somebody who's not only real but somebody that you can actually meet must have been a really interesting experience for you.
Yes, it was really easy because she really helped me, and if you watch the series or movie when it comes out, you can see in this one scene I have to be tied down and it's a lot, and so I'm bawling and stuff like that, but she just really helped me in that scene because it was really hard and I had to be crying and screaming, and it was a lot.
How do you get into character for something so emotional like that? Because you would hope that you would never have to go through the same things that Jan did, but you still have to bring that emotion and imagine what that would be like. How do you get into character? Are you laughing 2 minutes later, or is it a whole process for you? Yeah?
You can ask anybody on set. I'm 2 minutes later, I'm in my robe, and I'm just sitting here eating my strawberries with no stem and my crackers and my my Subway. But yeah, and I have a couple things to help me cry on set. My grandpa passed away a year ago, and so I have a couple things that help me cry. So first I have this, and if you do this, it's kind of hard to open, but has a picture of him.
Aww, that's so sweet.
And it has a red bird because that's his favorite animal. I have a matching ring as well. I also snuck this into a couple of photo shoots. Candace, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But I snuck it into a photo shoot, and I tried to show it off but not make it obvious.
You made a vision board of goals and things that you wanted to accomplish, and you had on that vision board work with Millie Bobby Brown. And
then less than 48 hours later, I booked it.
Okay, I was going to say that same year. Less than 48 hours later? Really?
It was 24-ish.
Oh my gosh.
48 hours.
That is so cool. And you know that we had to mention Stranger Things because you play 13. And I mean, especially, that would be an amazing role anyway, but especially when it was something that you so specifically wanted to do. What was it like working with Millie?
She is so sweet. And so I have such a sweet story. So in one of the scenes, if you watch season 4, so we're all standing in a line and we're all in this gray, fun fact, I still have the gray sweatshirt and the gray sweatpants. In the scene, me and Millie are side by side, right next to each other. One of the takes, she looked at me, she looked down and grabbed my hand and held my hand. And I was I was trying not to laugh.
You're what is this? What's happening right now? Yeah.
I thought I was dreaming for a second because Millie Bobby Brown.
Something I think is cool about these two roles is that your hair is a big part of both roles. You had to shave your head for Stranger Things, and now you have, I know you call it the Jan, which I love. How does the hairstyle kind of help you get into a role and just wardrobe and hair and makeup and everything like that in general?
So I don't really have this many freckles. I put like fake freckles on for school today because I love tricking my friends. Like one day I'll have brown eyes, the next I'll have blue. One day I'll have 0 freckles, the next day I'll have a ton of freckles. Like my friends have just like are fed up with me because I always change just like the slightest things about my like personality or like my face. And they never notice, which is funny. But then I'll point it out at the end of the day. I'll be like, do you like how I did my freckles this morning? But hair and makeup just always fits like the 70s, 80s vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But also I like to feel like I have actual pictures of Jan from when like that all happened. And I have the exact same outfits.
I've seen so many cute pictures of you and McKenna Grace offset during production of the show, and it's really cool because McKenna really got her career started by being like the queen of younger versions, right? Like she would always play the younger version of a character on a TV show or in a movie, and you're actually McKenna's very first younger version on A Friend of the Family because you play Jan when she's a kid, and McKenna plays Jan as a teenager. And that just must be so cool. Tell us about working with McKenna and just getting to become friends with her.
So one of the things, this isn't related to like acting, but she taught me to play the ukulele.
Okay, because that's something really cool that she does. I feel like she can learn a new song really quickly. Is that true?
Yes. She can literally listen to something and be like, and just play it immediately. It's crazy. She's like crazy talented and stuff like that. And she can, it's not just ukulele, it's piano, guitar, anything. She's literally so talented and stuff like that. Most of the time when I was done filming, she'd be right after me, so I'd stay a little bit longer because they don't care. Because I mean, I'm clocked off. I've done my 10 hours. They don't need me anymore. I'm not their responsibility. So I'll just hang out with McKenna. Gizmo, her dog, I will snuggle with Gizzy. Right after, we would immediately like go to dinner or like go to her place or go to my place, play VR, do ukulele. There's so many, like there's endless possibilities. But the one we would do the most is go get boba.
You checked working with Millie off of your bucket list so quickly, so I feel like we should use the time now to set another goal, Hendrix. What do you want to do next?
Work with Sadie Sink on something like Fear Street. I love Sadie.
Okay, well, we'll check back with you in another 2 days.